What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to a Monday edition of the Ysn Power Hour, brought to you by our friends at Toyota of Warren. DJ Yoakley with you live from the Athletics Studios here in Athletics in Columbiana, right off Route 7. If you're in everybody, with Mother Nature doing what Mother Nature does this time of year, there is no bad time to book a spot here at Athletics. Make sure you stop on down, visit us. Visit this beautiful complex. Get your swings in for golf. Get your swings in for baseball and softball. You can rent the turf. You can rent the entire complex if you really wanted to. I'm sure Sean would swing you a nice deal if you wanted to just rent the entire place out. But head on down to Athletics here at Columbiana. It is a one of one, as I like to say. It's a unicorn. There are no others quite like it here. And we are just absolutely blessed, humbled, and honored to have a home here at Athletics. Ladies and gentlemen, what a wonderful, 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 wonderful weekend we had this weekend. It, of course, was the YSN Boys and Girls Basketball All-Star games and contests. For the first time ever, we incorporated these contests to I don't know. To be quite honest with you, I don't know why. We thought it was a great idea, and it ended up being even greater than we thought it would ever be. And the showcase of talent that we were able to put on display last night was amazing. I mean, from top to bottom, from the entertainment side to the absolute unbridled talent that this region has to offer in two different states. It's incredible. And to be able to harness that, put it into Boardman High School Gymnasium and put on a show for all of you and raise money for a wonderful cause, that's how winning is done. That is how winning is done, folks. And that is the difference in what we do and why we do it, because we do it for greater causes. We do it for people like Sleep in Heavenly Peace, great organizations that are making huge, huge strides towards change in this rock that is going across the galaxy we call Earth. So to be able to use sports and these young people's talents and time and resources as a weapon for good, there is no other. There's no other reason or circumstance or it was just special. From the time you stepped inside that gymnasium, you could feel it. There was a buzz. There was an electricity in the air that was palpable, that you knew something was going to happen, something big. You just didn't know how much and how many big things were going to happen throughout the night. It started with an unbelievable girls all-star game, which we saw just handles more so than the actual ice cream. We saw great shooting. We saw athleticism on display. We saw great defense, which you're not accustomed to seeing in all-star games. We saw, everything you could want to see in a basketball game in general, we saw in one of these two basketball games. And then if that wasn't enough, we go into the three-point contest. And it was lights out. It was pretty much even across the board. But LeBray gets the victory in that. And then you go into the boys' three-point contest. South Range gets the victory in that. Then you go into the 3-2-1 contest. And what happens there? Crestview gets the victory in that. Then you go into the slam dunk contest. And what happens there? Warren JFK gets the victory in that. And then you go into the boys contest, the actual game itself. And the all-star from that is from Campbell Memorial. And I forgot the girls all-star MVP was from Southern Local. So you're all over the board. And I think that is just a testament to how good this area is becoming in not just basketball, but sports in general. The level has been absolutely raised. The ceiling, I'm not sure there is one, but as my good buddy Ty Bartell would say, the floor has elevated. And if we're talking about elevation, if we're talking about elevation and levitation, if you did not see the boys' slam dunk contest last night, if you were not able to look at the display of what happened in that gymnasium last night from the celebrity judges, our very own Scotty Mincher, on hand tonight to take it in, on hand last night to take it in. Then it was Madison Tromler from Channel 21 WFMJ was also on hand, taking a little bit out of her Sunday, alongside her good friend and, of course, running mate, so to speak, at Channel 21 and Storm Tracker 21, Mr. Andrew DiPaolo, the pride of Cardinal Mooney High School. And then you had the ghost, Kelly Pavlik, also making his triumphant return. And then you had the main event. The guy, we'll get into this a little bit later, that put Boardman on the map, Bernie Kosar, in that gymnasium. 5, in my eyes, celebrity, standout human beings, judging from 0 to 10 this slam dunk contest, and they did it beautifully. Beautifully. And to put on a show, Duncan Moy started the contest, and he was the odds-on favorite. If we had betting odds, and we didn't, OHSAA, we didn't. If we had betting odds, Duncan Moy would have been the odds-on favorite. And my gosh, his first dunk, he only got one dunk. I wanted to ask him if he had any more left. Did he have any left in the chamber? Did he have one that was going to put him into the finals and one that was going to win him the finals? But we only got to see one. Duncan hits I think we call that an East Bay. Between the legs, boosh. 49. He goes one short of a perfect score on the first dunk of the night. And then we see some high-flying action. And then it gets to the last two. We had 6 dunkers last night. We get to the last 2. And Eddie Nieves goes between the legs, up, and puts it down. It was incredible. Perfect 50 across the board. Perfect 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. You saw the Comco signs in the back. 10, 10, 10, 10. Everybody was a 10. Nieves had that place exploding, and then just like that, Nick Ryan from Warren JFK goes up, boop, little dunkski, little dunkaroo. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Comco 10s everywhere. That place was buzzing like a bee. Bee as in Boardman. Quick thinking. It was amazing. The atmosphere, again, electric. Even so much so that I wouldn't have been surprised if Eric Carlson and Joe Dickey Electric walked right through the door, because they were checking on the electricity in that place, because there was some high voltage going on in Boardman High School last night. That slam dunk competition went through the roof. I mean, we were going to turn out the grid with that dunk contest. And then the action continued right into the boys' game, and Sway Rodriguez over at Camel Memorial put on a show for everybody. Sweetest name in the game. And boy, did he just absolutely explode onto the scene. From top to bottom, it was incredible. It was an incredible night. Trying to find out if we've got an update on what we brought in. We're still working on the numbers. But just as an overall, I mean, I'm drained. I am absolutely drained. I'm an old man now. I feel like we did everything we could to put that on for the kids and to make sure that they had memories that would last a lifetime. Where's the 19 jersey? Listen, Dave, all day, my poor family on Saturday, I dragged them out of the house, took them to Boardman, and we look. First off, we had to get stuff for the All-Star game. Secondly, we spent every waking minute trying to find any spot that had a Bernie Kosar 19 jersey, and I was going to rock it. We couldn't find it. The closest we got, we went to Youngstown Clothing Company, bought a Kosar coffee t-shirt, and I forgot it. I forgot it. I forgot it. So at some point, probably tomorrow or Wednesday, I will be rocking the Kosar coffee shirt to thank Bernie and obviously plug one of his brands that he's got going right now with the coffee. And um, just to, I mean, to have, here's a little story for you. So last night, to have Bernie Kosar come into the gymnasium seeking out yours truly, right? I'm holding a rack of basketballs for the 3-point contest, and I get a tap on my back, and hey, Bernie wants to say hi. And I turn around, and there's 6'5", 60-year-old legendary quarterback from Boardman, Ohio, Bernie Kosar, who we've only seen each other to this point via computer screen in our interview, and now it's in the flesh. So now I got a little bit of those jitters you get, those, oh my gosh, like it finally hit you. And he couldn't have been a nicer, just, better human being. I don't think there was anybody that he turned away from a picture. I don't think there was anybody that Bernie or Kelly or anybody in that, for that matter, turned away from an autograph. Or it was an amazing night. And what I'm going to tell you right now is not a tale of disappointment, but a tale of, I will always wonder why. I will always wonder why we, especially as these small communities, and we can talk about Boardman being a small community based on it's not Pittsburgh or Cleveland or Toledo or Columbus, or Boardman is a relatively, pardon me, small community. And I've always been one, and I could be completely off on this. I could be completely way off base. I've always been one that if you are the son of or the daughter of a small community and you hit it, and I'm not even talking about hit it big. I'm not talking about playing for the University of Miami. I'm not talking about playing for the Cleveland Browns. I'm not talking about winning the middleweight championship of the world. What I'm talking about is just being able to succeed. I think small communities like the Boardmans, East Palestine, East Liverpool, New Waterford, Columbiana, Lowville. I mean, we do so much, and there's so much pride in those communities that we should continuously honor the success that people that grew up in those communities should be celebrated at no end. And sometimes we wait too long. And I'm not saying that there's anything crazy going on, but I'm saying that why did we wait all this time? And why did it have to take YSN to celebrate what Bernie Kosar, a guy that put Boardman on the map, a guy that put this region on the map from a football standpoint, to have a hero's welcome, to walk into that gymnasium, to be able to give the wave and smile. And I don't want to speak for Mr. Kosar, but I can tell you the way that I felt. It tugged at the heartstrings a little bit, did a little dance, right? I can only imagine the way that that made him feel when he put his head on the pillow last night. The same way with my good friend, Mr. Kelly Pavlik, a guy that's done so much. And I remember everybody I know, boxing fans, are not being able to root and cheer for this guy because he represented Youngstown. So when people ask me why is it so important to you to put these all-star games on? They're just, oh, my kid's only getting 2 minutes of playing time. Listen, we respect your opinion, and I joke about the way you sound. We're grateful for the support. But if we were waiting, if we were waiting for anybody else to do what we do, we'd be waiting forever. If we were waiting for permission to celebrate the student athletes in our YSN network, we would still be waiting since year one. From the first time we put on the All-Star game in South Range, we'd be still waiting for permission. We'd still be waiting for people to high-five us and say, that's a good idea. Last night was the culmination, was the greatest sports event that's happened at the high school level, especially in an exhibition setting, that we've ever had. And when I say we, I mean this area. And I'm just damn proud that it was YSN. I'm damn proud that we've got guys like Donnie Riccatelli, like Sam Torres, Ty Bartell, Steve Leslie, Chris Sigler. Proud that we have guys like Jordan Barber, like Mikey Swinehart, like Matt Marr, like Dom O'Brien. Proud that we have guys across the board like Eric Hughes. The list goes on and on. I'm still trying to think. I'm thinking of the people. Jessica Torres, who was there with Sam. I'm proud that we have BSTN that put on an unbelievable production last night. If you have not seen, if you were there and didn't see the production of it, not your ordinary YSN one camera setup. And I think the thing that I'm more incredibly proud about all of this is that the community of Boardman was proud of the event that went on. And they want us back. And we will be back. You can lock that in, that next year, the All-Star game will be in Boardman, Ohio again. And it'll probably be again and again and again and again, because that was the perfect venue for that event. Those events. Couldn't be happier. Well, I can be happier whenever we get that total and it's over $4,000. There's $4,000 was my goal. In my head, it was my goal. And moving forward, I think that we're going to, hopefully, fingers crossed, surpass that by a lot. I can't imagine going through a day walking into the place where you're supposed to lie your head at night and not having anything there. Not being able to get a good night's rest, not being able to recharge the batteries, so to speak. And in sports, it's so incredibly important that you get rest and recovery. We talk about it all the time. We've had people on the show talk about recovery, talk about rest, talk about getting your mental picture cleared up a little bit. Can't do that without sleep. Sleep in heavenly peace. This is the second. The first time we've ever done it 2 times. But I'm sure it's not the last time we will support this wonderful mission, Sleep in Heavenly Peace, for building beds for young people that do not have a bed. It's incredibly important. But for us, when we looked at what's missing in this valley, it wasn't all-star games, I can tell you that, but it was how do we allow and help these hungry, very educated, very wanting to help type human beings that have incredible abilities in sports. How do we help them raise money and feel good about themselves and what they're doing by raising money for people that can't do it themselves? And then all-star games. We don't take money from them. We bought 400 t-shirts. We still have a bunch of them left. So if you need one, we got them. But the idea behind it was simply help people through sports, through the stuff that we love, the stuff that for some reason this great area has allowed us to become a career. How do we take what we do and raise money for a great cause? And that's what we did last night. And each and every person that walked through that door, each and every person that donated, each and every person that had a smile on their face, that spent $10 to entertain themselves for 5 hours. I have a hard time believing that anybody walked away wanting more and saying that they didn't get enough bang for that buck. That's all I'm going to say. And we've had people say, hey, you know what you should do is have this game and this game and this game and this game. I appreciate your input. I do. And we've thought about it many times. And we always come back to having the biggest all-star game in the country. Not to say that. Not because we want to be in the Guinness Book of World Records. Because I probably would be. But to say that you played with this guy or gal, or you played alongside them, or you played against them. It's Division 4 versus Division 1. It's Division 2 versus Division 4. You get the picture. To be able to say in 10 years, oh my gosh, I played with that guy. Oh my gosh, I played with that girl. Where did you play? At the YSN All-Star Game, because that's the only place that we can play like that. There is a lot of, and it might not feel like it, there is a lot of planning that goes into this game, more than you'd imagine, especially with the rosters, with understanding the rules that the OHSAA have, with understanding, making sure that all kids are eligible for next year, that they don't slip and fall from a standpoint of, hey, if you're a junior, you can't be coached by your coach, especially when it is a non-contact period. There's a lot of planning that goes into sending 70 emails out to college coaches saying, if you want to come to this event, you are absolutely welcome to do so. And last night, we had college coaches at the event, and they walked away incredibly impressed at the show that was put on by our student athletes. I was stopped by a person, let's put it that way, who was incredibly frustrated that their student athlete was not offered scholarships. We're going to go a little bit of geared up a little bit and take a hard right turn. Folks, I don't know if you know this, and I'm not criticizing anybody out there who doesn't know, right? To expect a scholarship just because your kid, your student athlete, your son, your daughter, your nephew, your grandbaby, whatever, just because they're exceptionally good at sports does not entitle them to a scholarship. And I think nights like last night show there's a little bit of devil in the details. Because everybody's son or daughter is really good in their own eyes, right? When they're see if I can. It's been a minute since we pulled this off. When you throw those shades on, right, and those rose-colored glasses, everybody is a little bit better when you got those glasses on. And then you take them off and you go, wait, what's going on here? You put together a group, a team, the I don't know, the AAU sector, right? And the group of individuals that are playing that game, that level is up a little bit, and then you realize, oh my gosh, we need to work out. We need to get to work a little bit here. We need to get better. This isn't the same. This isn't the same rodeo we signed up for. Whether it's D3, D2, JUCO, whatever level, you've heard me say this before, and I will never stop banging this drum. Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta tell you, it doesn't matter what level it is. When you go play college sports, university sports, it is a different animal. It is a different creature than you've ever seen, than you could ever prepare for. And you know, some of the trouble is over half the time, the kids that you are thinking are going to go incredibly far. Some of you I've heard say are going to go pro, which is great. And I want that. The true reality, the stark reality, they wouldn't be able to cut it at the D3 level. Because when people see D1, D2, D3, they think, well, D3, I mean, it's like gym class. No. And I'm not just saying it because that's where I landed. There are great D3 players. There are D3 players that go on to play in the NFL and have wonderful, long careers in the National Football League. Are there more D1s? Yes, absolutely. Are there more D2s? Probably. But I think the thing that we need to remember is scholarships are not guaranteed because you're good at a sport. In fact, you see the term preferred walk-on, PWO. Most kids in today's day and age, especially in the COVID era, are more than happy to get PWOs. They pass up college scholarships to get PWOs, and that's fine. That's their own agenda. They're going to roll the dice on themselves. That is absolutely fine. And part of me admires that a lot. But to have a conversation like I had last night, and this young man, very good athlete. Very good. And I'm sure there's scholarship money out there somewhere. But the colleges know that they hold the cards. It's the same way that there's not a lot of jobs in sports, right? To have a job in sports is a very, very, very special thing. It is a very competitive field. Not everybody is blessed enough to be part of that field. Not everybody's going to go to college and get a scholarship just because you're good at sport in multiple positions. It doesn't happen that way. That's not the way the book is written. We will do everything we can, anything that's possible, to continue to give the best opportunities to our athletes for scholarships and to put them in the best position to be athletes at the next level. Even if they're not a scholarship athlete, they can position themselves to get on the team and fight for those scholarships. But I think that there's a lack of education across the country, not just our region, in how college sports works. I mean, I would imagine that there's a good percentage of people playing football, playing other sports that are there just to be scout team, just to be tackling dummies, as they used to say. But the thing that I like about this area more than anything is those kids that usually roll the dice and bet on themselves usually win. They either flare out quickly or they freaking win. And that is cool. But it's because these student athletes have been tested. They've been forged in the fire, so to speak. And they're not ever going to back down. That's why I love games like we had last night. That's why I love the contest portion of it. That's why I love the way that gymnasium felt in the slam dunk contest. You could feel it was just like a tidal wave. It just got higher and higher and higher and higher, and then it crashed down. It crescendoed all over as we celebrated a champion. I thought it was great that I'm trying to, like, right now I've got this headpiece in, right? So I can hear myself. I didn't have that last night. And I probably should have, if we're being honest, because the clapping, the applause was so loud. It was so loud. At points I couldn't hear myself think. I was trying to make sure that I'm going down the list, the roster as I'm announcing those players. Thank God for Ty Bartell helping me out, making sure that I don't absolutely flub or butcher. Thank God for Rocco Turner, who came up to me and told me, hey, just in case you didn't know, you missed a guy. We got you. We got you, Mr. McDowell. Don't you worry. Boardman gets announced last, always, when it comes to your home floor. Just a special night. Just a special night across the board. But I actually had a couple of those conversations about scholarships, and folks are upset. But the challenge is, I think I could be wrong. This could be the last year for the COVID era, but I think there's one more year of the COVID college era. But these 18-year-olds that are graduating are battling 26-year-olds for scholarships. And these 26-year-olds are going to get these scholarships because, let's just face it, they're more mature, both physically and mentally. Coaches have told me straight up to my face, they say 18, 19-year-olds are tough because they're not mature, and it's almost like you have to babysit. And there's a lot of parents that are going to sit back and go, not my son, not my daughter. I've taught them better. Mom, Dad, when they get out onto a college campus living by themselves, things might be a little different. Things might be a little different. And that's why coaches don't want to do it. They don't want to deal with it. Because sometimes the same way as in professional sports, sometimes in the NFL draft, the draft pick just doesn't work out. And you got to let that birdie fly. College, you got to do the same thing. If that scholarship isn't working out, you got to cut bait. And we've heard horror stories, absolute horror stories about scholarships being taken away from student athletes because the program's getting cut, defunded, because there's a change in coach, because there's this, because there's that. The problem is if you've made it all your life to that point to realize that life isn't fair and there's nothing promised to you. That's why that they say the rent is due every day, right? Apparently your life's not that bad if that's your first little bit of adversity. But at the same time, that's a tough break. That's a tough break in that situation to learn that way. And that's a high ceiling to fall from. Not everybody's promised scholarships because you go to a pitching clinic or take pitching lessons or hitting lessons or kicking or offensive line or quarterback or shooting or dribble. Like the list goes on and on. You get it. Parents need to understand and they need to realize that an investment of $10,000 into your son or daughter's hitting lessons does not necessarily equal out to a $10,000 scholarship down the road. Wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. And it might. And you might be one of the lucky ones. And you might be one of the ones that it paid off and something clicked inside your kid's head and boom. Next level. But the complaints, the misunderstandings about how scholarships work, and that they're just academic, or excuse me, that they're just athletic scholarships. I've told you time and time again that the first thing that coaches will ask is, what are your grades? The second question coaches will ask, what's the family life like? That's how it goes. They want to know. They want to know that they've got someone that's smart. Because if they're trying to explain something and they're trying to explain to this guy that had a 2.4 GPA in high school, and they're trying to explain to somebody that had a 4.2 GPA in high school, who's probably going to get it in that concept first. 99% of the time, it's going to be the 4.2. I'd still take me, but 99% of the time, it's going to be the 4.2 because they know their study. They're willing to work. They're willing to put in the time to succeed. Whereas the 2.4 GPA, probably not, unless it's something they absolutely love. And in that case, you can love something and it doesn't always love you back. All right. Let's hear from Mr. Palestrino. One of these days, Dave, you're going to have to come and be a co-host on this show. Dude, what a joke. After a great night for all involved in the for sleep and heavenly peace, it's a damn shame that we have to talk about this instead of the evening that these student athletes had. I listen, I agree. Anthony had a solid 45, 50 minutes of it. It's just one of those things, and I'm not trying to be the downer, the Debbie Downer. You know me, I don't like doing that. But I think it needs to be brought to the surface because that's the one thing that I saw last night. And I'm going to see the 99 great things, but also when somebody brings that one thing to me, and this, for some reason, it was weird. It was brought to me like 3 or 4 times last night. And that's a little bit frustrating. Not frustrating for me, like, it doesn't bother me that I've got to have that conversation. It bothers me that some of these kids are seniors, and it's not common knowledge. And I don't know whose fault that is. It's not necessarily the fault of the people, right? But I think there needs to be something, and we're working on that actually literally right now. There needs to be something that educates people on how this all works. And I'm not saying that it's going to be free. I'm not saying that it's going to be expensive. I'm saying that there just needs to be professionals in place that you can talk to and say, okay, well, explain this to me why, right? And it doesn't always, and it shouldn't always be the dude that turns knobs and talks on the microphone here. I'm talking about getting professionals and letting them talk to you and in a public setting, in a private setting, and saying, this is what we're looking for. And the crazy thing about it is not everybody's looking at the same thing. Not everybody is peaking and saying, hey, this is what I want. This is what that could be someone across the country that needs your son or daughter, your grandson, your granddaughter, your niece, your nephew. Are you looking there? You know, if you're searching scholarships, I mean, Dave, you probably were in the same boat that I was. We're not too far apart when it comes to age. It's one of those things where it's there's scholarships out there for everything. Left-handed writers, people that are ambidextrous. Trust me, it's more than just what you do with your hands. There's people out there that, you know, in the manufacturing industry, in the broadcasting industry, in the writing industry, and all these different things. There's opportunities for scholarships. So what I would say is you got a better chance to make the team, at least in my knowledge, you've got a better chance to make the team if the team doesn't have to pay for you. Go be a walk-on, but if your education's paid, go have fun. It can still be a game. The pressure's on whenever you get a scholarship and they're paying you to play for their team. There are expectations that you have to meet. Now, you're probably going to get more of the reps and the snaps and all of that, but at the same time, they can take that away from you. If you go and get an academic scholarship and you keep your grades up, they can't take that away from you. Can't do that. All right. Dave says, as always, great work, YSN. Bouncing a little early. Okay. Heading to Canfield versus Fitch softball. We'll have that on the network as well, my friend. Looking forward to catching up. Dave, have a great day, my friend. Thank you for stopping by as always. We appreciate you having you around to bounce ideas off of, and certainly talk in the comment section. You too can drop your comments, your thoughts in the comment box. Brought to you by our friends at Toyota of Warren. We're going to bounce a little early today, as well as I've got to get over to the old range set up, and we will have Girard South Range softball for you. Opening day here on YSN. Happy opening day to all of you across the area and anybody watching across the globe. We greatly appreciate your support as we close the chapter on almost said football. It's coming back quick. We closed the book rather on basketball, and we opened the book on baseball and softball, and track and field and lacrosse. And I will tell you this though, a little inside baseball, little thoughts with DJ Oakley. I have never received more emails, messages, texts than I have this year about lacrosse. And it's weird because it's always kind of the same email. It starts with, DJ, as you may know, lacrosse is one of the fastest growing sports in the country. followed by this is the sport that we would like you to follow on YSN. And I'm gonna reply to these emails eventually. Again, we've been a little busy, but I will tell you this: we don't know anything about lacrosse. I I don't know how do you sugarcoat that. Um, we've done it before. We've been very fortunate to have guys like Richie and Anthony, um, Richie Giuliano, Anthony Romo, um, and a couple others that know lacrosse. I don't know lacrosse. I don't know it. And right now, I don't have time to learn it. And that's no diss to lacrosse. That's simply a time factor. If I'm not covering softball, I'm covering baseball. If I'm not doing that, then we're working on big dogs. If we're not doing that, then we're writing stories. This has nothing to do with us trying to diss lacrosse. There's nothing more than I would want to have lacrosse on the network. If you happen to know about lacrosse and would like to broadcast it, we want to talk to you. There is a want out there for it. We want to go out and get it. So if you know lacrosse, we want to talk to you. We want you to broadcast on YSN for these lacrosse fans out there in the fastest growing sport in the country. If you don't know, I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I love it. I smile because people want our services. It could be it could be the other way around. DJ, please do not come cover our events. I mean, it could be that, right? And that has happened. But no, we're grateful. We're grateful. Let's get to. I think you know what this is going to be. It's the Joe Dickey Electric. What's your spark? Presented by Joe Dickey Electric. Visit them today at DickeyElectric.com. Everything electrical. Go ahead and go to DickeyElectric.com. All right, so I mean, we've already talked about it, but I mean, we're back here at athletics. It's a little bit more quiet. You don't hear the little ones running around upstairs. Mama Bear laying the smack down. Just kidding. Um, quiet. Your dad is on the phone. That's what we always hear. Your dad is working. She's my number one. There's no doubt. She's the travel queen. She's the travel queen. I acknowledge her. Today is opening day. Today is opening day on so many different fronts. And I am excited. Baseball, softball, the reason that YSN is where it is today, we would not be here without baseball and softball because this whole network was started because baseball and softball got zero recognition throughout the year. There it is. A little bit of YSN trivia for you. But at the same time, man, we are. I know Joe Eusebio is like 3 days away, 2 days away from heading down to Myrtle Beach. We are 3 days away from heading down to Myrtle Beach. We will have incredible coverage for you down there. Our shows, well, this show will be down in Myrtle Beach. Poor Anthony is going to be still at the Running Point Studios. Sam Torres, Ty Bartell, myself, we will have these shows on throughout the week as long as there's no games. And I don't think there's any games at 3:00 if I remember. At least for me. At least for me, there's none. For Ty's a little bit crazy when it comes to that stuff. So there might be games for him. Sam might have one because I think he's doing a bunch of baseball games towards the end of the week. But the first part of that week, ladies and gentlemen, next week, we will be live from the beach, probably from the balcony, hanging out and talking sports and what's going on and kind of just doing what we do and talking sports and blessed to do so. That is going to do it. I hope you guys have a great opening day. 8 games on the network tonight. If we want to run past them real quick, we've got Quaker Valley at Mohawk Baseball at 4:30. So that's starting very shortly right here on the network. Also, We've got Boardman at Howland softball, Canfield at Austintown Fitch baseball. We have Canfield at Austintown Fitch softball. We have Girard at South Range softball. That's yours truly. We also have Lisbon at Columbiana baseball. We have United at East Palestine softball. And we have Warren JFK at Ursuline baseball here on the network. 8 games to see today on opening day. I hope you and yours have a great opening day. Get out and see these games. Go out and support these kids. The weather is beautiful. Just take a little jacket. Take a little jacket. Check your Storm Tracker 21 app. Take a little jacket. Take the family out for a walk. Go see some baseball. Go see some softball. And tell us about it tomorrow. We'll talk to you tomorrow, 3 o'clock, right here on your Sports Network. See ya. YSN thanks you for watching this presentation.